Hello guys, welcome back to Tech Projects. I am back with another video and this is the day 4 of Java series, and in this video we are going to completely explore the for loop. So we will see what is for loop and we will see some basic program using for loop, like how to calculate the factorial of a number, how to calculate the power of a number, how to print a table of a specific number, and how to print some patterns using for loop. So in this video, after watching this video till end, everything about for loop you will easily understand. So don't further delay, now let's start the video and explore the complete for loop. And one more thing, if you don't check the previous part like day 1, day 2 and day 3, then I recommend you watch that part. And one more thing, please subscribe the channel if you don't subscribe our channel till now, and also hit the bell notification. And also you can join my Telegram channel if you want free courses, free internship and webinar updates daily. So all links provided in description. So why you wait, simply subscribe the channel and also subscribe my Telegram channel. So now let's start the video. So first of all, for explaining you what is for loop, let's create a new file. So if you don't know how to create a new file and how to create our first program in Java, then first I recommend you watch the day 1. I explain everything in that day 1. So now for creating a new project, simply click on file and then you have to click on new. Then you have to simply select here Java project, and here you have to give any project name. So I simply give here for loop and then I click on finish. Now after this, expand the for loop folder, then right click on src. We have to create a class to do coding inside this project, then new, then you have to click on class and you can give any class name, it is your choice. I again give for loop, so it is your choice whether you want to give any class name, it is not compulsory. Now click on finish. So this everything about this I explained in day 1, so watch the day 1 if you don't watch that day 1 till now. So now you can see our class is created successfully. Now first of all we have to create a main method to do a coding inside this. So create a main method simply. So simply type here public, then static, then void main, inside this string brackets args, and then take 2 curly braces. So that's done. Now we are ready to write the code of for loop. So first of all, before writing the code of for loop, first we have to understand what is for loop, why we use for loop. So let us suppose you want to print a specific line 1000 times. So let us suppose I want to print my name is Brijesh and I want to print this line 1000 times. So what I can do? I can do 2 things. One I can do using loop, and one I can do, I have to simply type the println line 1000 times. So if I try to type println line 1000 times, then it is going to take so much time. So it is better to use for loop. So what it mean? So for loop can do that kind of work which is repeatable. So you can see I am not going to change my line everywhere. Like in first line I don't print my name is Brijesh, and in second line I am not going to print my name is Rahul. In third line I am not going to print some different name. So in this part you can see the work is same, but the work is repeatable. So if you want to do some work which is repeatable and you want to do it again and again, then you can simply use for loop. There are also lots of other uses of for loop, and we will see that uses using programs. But for now you can simply understand, if you want to do some task and if you want to do a repeatable task, then it is better to use for loop instead of writing the code. So hope you understand what is for loop. Now there are lots of confusion is present between for loop, while loop and do while loop. So in the day 5 I am going to explain what is while loop and do while loop. Then I will tell the difference between for, while and do while, and I also explain when to use for, when to use do while, and when to use while. So we will going to explore more about for, while and do while in the next part. In this part we have to simply focus on for loop programs, how to print table, how to calculate factorial using for loop, how to calculate power, and how to print patterns. So hope you understand what is the working of for loop. So first, before creating any program, let's see a syntax of for loop, how the for loop is work. So first of all you have to simply use for, this is keyword, then inside this you have to simply pass the starting of your loop. So you can type here 0, you can type here 1, you can type here 10, it is your choice. You have to simply pass the starting. Then after this you have to pass the condition. So this I, what is this I? This I is just a variable. After this you have to simply pass condition for how many times you want to run that particular loop. So let us suppose I want to run it 10 times. So I simply pass I less than 10, then I take a semicolon again, then I have to simply increment the variable. What it mean to increment the variable? Because I want to do this work 10 times. So by default what I contain 0. So the code come here. So 0 is less than 10, then the condition is true. Then the code come inside this loop. Not the code is not going to go here. The code come inside this loop, and after this I can perform whatever I want. And after the completion of that code, the code again goes to here and then increment the value of I variable. So by default I contain 0, but after running the code first time, the I goes to change to 1. Then again code come here and 1 is less than 10, then it is fine. Then again code come inside our the loop body and then perform the code again, or we can say perform the task again. Then again it going to code here to increment the variable value, and after this come here again, and then this come here again. So this is cycle. So this cycle is going to repeat until this condition is not going to false. So after some time, maybe the condition is getting false, like I value is equal to 10, or we can say I value is 11. So 11 is not less than 10, then we automatically come from outside of the body of for loop. So hope you understand how it is work. So now I will show you, this is the quick demo how to work with for loop. So I simply take a println line here, system.out.println, and inside this I simply pass here my name is Brijesh. So now you have to simply take a semicolon here, click on run button to check whether it is working or not. So you can see it work fine. So it print the my name is Brijesh 10 time, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So why it print 10 time? Because I want to run this loop from 0 to less than 10. So 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So on 10, when the I value is getting 10, then it automatically this condition get false and we automatically come outside from the loop body. So hope you understand how the for loop is work in the Java. Now one more thing, or we can say one more case. Let us suppose you want to take this number. Let us suppose by default what I assign 10, because I want to print my name 10 times. So you can tell this variable value on runtime. So for this I have to simply first declare a scanner class object to take any input in Java. So if you don't know how to take scanner class object, then check out the day one. So scanner sc, then new scanner, and inside this I have to pass the working system.in, then semicolon. So it show error because it doesn't import the scanner class. So take your cursor here and click on import scanner. So you can see the error is gone. Now I have to simply take a variable. So I simply type here system.out.println, enter any number, then semicolon. Now I have to store that number inside our m variable sc.nextInt, then semicolon. Now I have to run the loop for m time, because I stored that number inside m variable, so I want to run that loop for m time. So I simply take a variable again for loop, then int I want to start the loop from 0, then I want to go up to m, then I plus plus, then semicolon. Now take two curly braces, and inside this you can pass any condition. So I simply take this, Control C, then Control V, simply change the message to make it different. This is Java series. Then I press on run button, and you can see it show message to enter any number. Let us suppose I enter 250. So it going to print that this is Java series line for 250 time. You can see this is amazing. So this is the benefit of using for loop. Now it is not compulsory to simply pass here I plus plus. You can pass any condition for by how many value you want to increment your operator. You can simply pass here I equal I plus 2, this kind of thing, or you can pass multiply. So it is your choice whatever you want to pass here. So you can pass any condition, it is your choice according to your program. So this is fine. Now we have to see how to print a table of a particular number using for loop. So first of all, for printing a table of particular number, first let's comment this code, because I don't need to run this code again and again, and also comment this code. So you can see this is fine. I cut this code from here, Control X cut, and simply enter any number. Then I want to print the table of that particular number. So I have to run the loop for I equals 0, I less than 10, because I want to print the table up to 10. And then I have to simply increment the operator I plus plus. Then inside this you have to pass, first of all it's showing error because I don't declare the int type variable int, so it is fine. Now you have to simply type here system.out.println, and inside this if you want to print table, then you have to pass specific condition according to your table. So let us suppose if I want to print the table of 5, you can see I already declare a variable and I have to simply store the number variable value inside m variable. So I have to use that m variable to print a table of a specific number. So I can simply type here m then I have to concatenate the string, then take two braces, two quotes, and inside this simply pass here multiply symbol to make it little bit attractive. Then I have to concatenate the string with I, then take concatenate the string again, then take two quotes, then inside there simply pass equal to make it more attractive. Then I have to simply print the value of m into I, and then semicolon, and also I concatenated the strings by plus symbol. So this is fine. Now run this code and let's see the output, and after seeing the output I will explain the code. So let us suppose if I want to print the table of 3. So if I press 3, you can see 3 zeros are 0, 3 1 are 3, 3 2s are 6, 3 3s are 9. So how this code is going to work? So first of all, what I contain 0. So 0 less than 10, it is fine. So the code come here. So first I simply print the value of m. So what m contain? I enter 10. So m contain 3. Then I simply print the value of I. So on first time what I contain 0. Then you can see 3 into 0, then equal, and then I have to simply print the result of 3 into 0. So m into I. So 3 into 0 is 0. Now the I plus plus. So now I contain 1. So I contain 1, I is less than 10. This condition is also true. Then code come here. So m value is again 3. So 3. But this time I change to 1. So I is equals to 1, 3 into 1. And then I have to print the result of m into I, which is 3 into 1. So 3 into 1, 3. So this code is going to work like in this way. So hope you understand how this is going to work. Now I will show you how to pass this condition. By default I simply pass the condition I want to print the table up to 10. But you can pass any number, it is your choice. So let's see how to do this. So for this I have to simply take a variable, two variables, int a comma b, then semicolon. Now first comment this code because I don't want to run this code again and again. Slash star slash. So first of all I have to simply take a number from user, system.out.println, enter any number. Then I store that number inside a variable sc.nextInt. Now I simply pass printer statement system.out.println, enter the last digit, or we can say last digit of our table. So let us suppose if I want to print table 20 times, 30 times, up to 30 times, so you can do this. So I store that number inside b variable sc.nextInt, then semicolon. Now after this I have to simply run this loop. So simply copy the code of this loop, Control C copy, and then simply paste the code here. So instead of m I have a here, and also I have to make change here. So I want to print the table up to b times, so I simply take a variable b and I simply replace by 10 by b. So hope you understand how this is going to work. So now let's run this program. So this time let us suppose I want to print the table of 20 and I want to print the table up to 35. So you can see now it will work fine. So 20 0 is 0, 21 is 20, 22 is 40. So this is fine. So hope you understand how to work with for loops, and this is some basic program. Now let's see, move on some advanced program, how to calculate the factorial of a number. So calculate factorial of a number. So for calculating the factorial of a number, first of all I have to take the input from user. So I simply type here, take a variable of int type, and then I simply give the name, any variable name I simply give a. Then I simply display a line system.out.println, and inside this I simply pass enter any number. So to calculate the factorial, so it is better to pass good message to calculate factorial, then semicolon. Now after this I have to simply take first of all I have to store that number inside a variable a sc.nextInt. Now after this I have to declare a variable to store the result. So I take a variable name result and type of the variable is integer type, and by default what I store inside this variable 1. So what it mean to store it 1, because you know the factorial of 0 is 1 and also the factorial of 1 is 1. So this result equal 1 help to identify, or we can say it help to calculate the factorial of 0. So we are going to see how this work inside loop. So first of all I have to run the loop. So basically what is the factorial? So let us suppose if I want to calculate the factorial of 5, then what I have to do, I have to simply multiply 5 up to 1. So 5 into 4 into 3 into 1. So I have to simply decrement the value. First of all I have to multiply 5 with 4, then I have to multiply that result by 3, then I have to multiply that result of combined result. Let us suppose 5 into 4 20, 20 into 3 60, then I have to multiply 60 by 2, then I have to multiply 120 by 1. So this is the logic of how to calculate a factorial. So I have to run the loop from our a variable. So if a contain 5, then I have to start the loop from a, and if a contain 10, then I have to start the loop from 10. So for this I have to simply pass a int I. I simply take the loop variable I, and what I store inside this variable a, because I want to start the loop from a. Then up to where I want to run the loop, so I have to run that loop until I value is greater than or equal to 1, and then I have to simply decrement the value of I, and then I have to take two curly braces. So this is fine. Now let us suppose if I enter 10, if I want to calculate the factorial of 10. So it's first of all it show error because it says to duplicate, so I have to comment this code. So if I want to calculate the factorial of 10, then you can see I contain 10. So 10 is greater than or equal to 1, so it is fine, this condition is fine. Then I have to simply run the code, and after this I have to simply decrement the value of I minus minus. So now what I contain 9. So 9 is greater than, again greater than, equal to 11, equal to 1. So this condition is also fine. Then I have to simply perform the run the code of inside the loop, and then I have to simply decrement the value. So now what I have to type inside our for loop body. So for this I have to simply type here result, and I have to store result inside our result variable, result into, and after this I have to simply type here I, then semicolon. So now let's see how this code is going to work. So on starting, let us suppose I want to calculate the factorial of 4. So in starting, what I contain 4. So 4 is greater than equal to 1, so this condition is fine. Code come here. So now what I store inside our result variable, result into I. So I contain 4. So 4 into 1. So now result contain 4, not 1. By default what result contain 1, but now result contain 4. So this is fine. Now I have to simply decrement the value. So I minus minus, now I contain 3. So 3 is also condition, this condition is fine. Then I have to simply multiply the result by I. So what now contain result? Result contain 4, and I have to simply multiply 4 into 3. So now result contain 12. So this is fine. Now I have to simply decrement the value of I minus minus, then a contain a equal to 2. So 2 is also greater than equal to 1. So this condition is also fine. Then code again come here. Then I have to simply multiply 12 into 2. So now result contain 24. Then code goes here. So 2 minus minus. So now it contain 1. So 1 is also greater than equal to 1. This condition again fine. Then I have to simply multiply it 12 into 24 into 1. So now result contain 24. Now it goes here again. So now a changed to 0. So 0 is greater than equal to 1. This condition is get false, and now I will automatically come outside from this loop. And after this what I have to do, I have to simply print the value of result variable. So I simply type here system dot out dot println the factorial is, then I have to simply print the variable value of result, then semicolon. So now let's run this program and see how it is working, whether it is working or not. So I simply type here 5, and you can see the factorial of 5 is 120. So now I have to tell you what is the benefit of storing result into 1, because if I don't store anything, because in initial I have to simply multiply I by result, and if result doesn't contain anything, then it is going to show the garbage value. So hope you understand why I take 1 here. And there is another benefit. Let us suppose if I want to calculate the factorial of 0. So 0, this condition is automatically get false. So this loop is not going to run, just not only for single time. So after this code automatically come outside from this loop, and then I have to simply store the display the value of factor result, and the by default what a result contain 1. So this is also going to work. And if I enter 0, so let us suppose if I enter 0, you can see the factorial is 1. So this is simplest logic and easiest logic to calculate the factorial of any program. Now let's see how to calculate the power of a number. So first of all, for calculating the power, first of all I have to take some input from user, like I have to take the base, and I have to take exponent. So first comment this code. Now declare variables to calculate the power. So first of all I have to take the base, so I give the variable name b, and exponent e, and to store the result I simply take again a variable result type. Then system dot out dot println, inside this I simply type here enter any number to calculate power, then semicolon. Now after this I have to store that number inside sc dot nextInt. Then I have to take another number as an exponent. So system dot out dot println enter the exponent, then semicolon. So I have to store that number inside e equal sc dot next int, then semicolon. Now before running the code, first of all I have to check some condition. Let us suppose if I want to calculate the power of a number, and if the exponent is 0, then power is automatically is 1. So I have to run that condition. So if exponent is 0, if e equal 0, then what it mean? Then it means the power is automatically 1. So I don't need to perform any calculation. So I can simply print the message system.out.println the answer is 1. So hope you understand how it is going to work. Now there is one more condition, else if the exponent is equal to 1. Let us suppose if I want to calculate the power of 2 and the exponent is 1. So what is mean? I am going to getting the same number. So I can simply display the result system.out.println, and I can simply display again same result. So the answer is, and I can simply concatenate the string, and I have to simply display the b, because the power of any number, if the power is 1 of any number, then I am going to getting the same number. So hope you understand. Now if it is not happen, then the code inside automatically come inside else part, and then you have to perform our main logic. So how we calculate the power? So let us suppose if I want to calculate the power of 2 raised to power 3. So what I have to do, I have to simply multiply 2 by 3 times. So for this I have to simply use the loop. So I simply take a variable, I simply type here 4, then I have to start the loop from 0. Then for how many time I want to run this loop? I have to run this loop 3 times. So let us suppose 2 raised to power 3, then I have to run this loop up to 3 times. If I want to calculate 2 raised to power 5, then I have to run this loop up to 5 times. So overall I can say I have to simply pass here the exponent. So I less than e, then I have to simply increment the value. So I have to run this loop up to e times. Now what I have to perform inside this loop? I have to simply multiply the base number up to this time. So I simply take a variable of result type, result equal result into, and what the base contain? B. So by default I have to store 1 inside this result, otherwise it going to show garbage value. So after this, after completion of the loop, I have to simply display the result system.out.println, and I have to simply type here the answer is, then I have to simply display the result. So let's see how this code is going to work. So let us suppose if I calculate enter 4, then I simply enter the exponent 0. So you can see the answer is 1. So this program is work fine. Now let us suppose if I enter 2, then I enter exponent 3. So the answer is 8. 2 into. So hope you understand how this logic is work. So I contain 0. So 0 is less than e, because I enter exponent as a 3. So 0 is less than 3. So I have to simply store the result inside our result variable again. So result equal result. By default what a result contain? Result contain 1. So result into b. So b is 2. So 2 into 1. 2. So now this time result contain 2. Then code goes here I plus plus, then this time now I contain 1. So 1 is also less than 3, then code again come here result into b. So by default what now result contain 2. So 2 into 2 4. So result contain 4. So hope you understand how this logic is going to work, and it help to find the power of a number. Now we have to do simply a last program and we have to end this video. So now we have to see how to print pattern using Java, using for loop. So I am going to print the simple right triangle pattern. So first of all I have to show which kind of pattern I am going to print. So I simply copy this code, Ctrl C copy, and then simply paste the code here. So I am going to type this code again. First of all I have to show which type of pattern I want to print. So you can see this is right triangle pattern. So you can pass any number of row, is your choice. I simply pass here 6, but you can declare any variable and take the value inside that variable, and then you can pass variable here, and if you want to print different number of rows. So now let's see how to create the code for this pattern. So first of all you have to make sure one thing: if you want to print any pattern, you must have to use 2 loops, one loop inside a one loop. So I simply take a variable here, for loop here int I want to start this loop from 0 and I want to run this loop up to 6 times, then I plus plus, and inside this I have to take another loop which is j. I have to start this loop from 0, then I have to run this loop up to I, not 6. I have to run this loop up to I, then I have to simply j plus plus, then I have to simply type here system.out.println, and I have to simply print the star, and with space. to add a space between after star. So now let's run this program, then I will show you how it is going to work. So it is not, it's showing error. So the error is after completion of this loop I have to change the line. So I simply type here system.out.println. Now first comment this code, run this code again. After running the code I will explain how it is going to work. So it's still showing error. So what is the error? So the error is I am changing line here, so I have to remove ln. Now run this code again. So you can see our pattern is work fine. So now let's see how this code is work. So by default what I contain, I contain 0. So 0 is less than 6, then it means this condition is fine. So the code come here. So 0. So I have to run the loop j. So j contains 0. So 0 is less than equal to 0. So because I contain 0 this time, so 0 is less than equal to 0, then it means fine. So I have to simply display system.out.println star space. So it automatically display here star space, print the star space. Then I have to, after this j increment to 1. So 1 is not less than equal to 0, then it means condition is false and code come here. So I have to simply change the line after terminating this loop. Now the code goes again here 0 plus plus. So now I contain 1. So 1 is less than 6. So the code come again here. So j contains 0. So 0 is less than equal to 1. So this condition is fine. Then it prints star space. Then j plus plus, j is incremented. Now j contain 1. So 1 is also less than equal to 1. So it is fine. Then it again print this star space. So this time we get 2 star. Then after this the loop is get terminated and we simply change the line. So hopefully you understand how this pattern is works. So this is simple pattern. If you want to create complex pattern, then you can create. So the video's length is already very long. I have to end this video. So if you have any query, you can comment down below. I try to give the answer of every comment. Please like the video and subscribe my channel for latest update for Java series, Android and web development project, and also share my channel if you want more and more projects. And I will see you soon in the day 5, and in the day 5 we will see what is the difference between for loop, while loop, do while loop, and what to use when. So the day 5 is going to very amazing. So thank you for this video, and if you have any query, you can comment down below. I try to give the answer of every comment. Please like the video and subscribe the channel. So thank you. See you soon in next video.